Welcome to Symfony Workshop. I'm Gary Clarke, and this is part 2 of a Symfony Framework Security and Authentication series. In this one, we're going to cover login and guard authentication. So we'll take some credentials from a login form, we'll try to find a matching user in the database, we'll verify the supplied password against the encoded password in the database, and then we'll redirect the user to another page on successful authentication. Some information before we start. I record in high resolution, so don't watch on a blurry screen. Choose high definition if that works for you. Would you like to join a growing group of PHP developers and take your skills to a new level? If that sounds like you, all you need to do is subscribe and click the little notification icon, and welcome. Before we get into things, I'm going to make this form look a bit better. So over to Bootstrap in the forms section, and I can grab the first form that I come to because this contains an email field and a password field. I'll paste that into there. I'm going to take the liberty of behind the scenes merging my two forms so that my original form is styled with a new styling. As you can see, not quite there yet. We need to grab something else. So over to Bootstrap again, grab the CSS. And I'm just going to paste this into templates base html.twig. There's a block for style sheets here, so I'm just going to paste that in there. And I'm also going to create a div with a class of container in which I wrap the body. For the form, I'm just going to add 50 pixels of top margin, and that's it for the CSS, thankfully. So I'll give that a refresh. That looks a bit better, more professional. If that went a bit fast for you, just go back and pause it on each form. Also, of course, I'll leave a link to the repo down below where you can go and grab the files if you want to do that. Let's go back to login form Authenticator, and the first method we come across is supports. Basically what this does is it makes a decision, should this authenticator be used for the request? And how do we know that we need login form authenticator? Well, we'll be on a login page and we'll be trying to log in. And the way we'll be doing that will be by sending a post request so we can check those exact things. So I'll check that self login route matches request attributes get underscore route, and I'm going to check that the request method is post. So request is method post. Let me now explain the sequence to you. So these next four methods are all called in sequence. I'll try and find a happy balance between not going into too much technical detail but giving you enough to understand it. So first off, get credentials. These are the credentials that we're going to use to try and authenticate a user. So in our case, we're passing a login form which contains an email field and a password field, and so we'll be using those. The credentials that we return from that method then get passed in to the getUser method. This is where we'll take the email address and we'll try and locate a user in the database using that email address. If a user is found, we return that user, and that user gets passed into the next method, which is check credentials, along with the credentials, and we check that the password is a match for that particular user. That returns a Boolean. If it returns true, then we move on to on authentication success, and this is basically where we decide what we want to do once we have authenticated. Where do we want to redirect the user? So I'll start out with get credentials. I'll open up an associative array. So this will be the values from our login form, which will be mapped to keys, and I can call the keys what I want, but I'll stick to the same names as a login form or very similar names. So let's go and have a look at that form now. On the email field, we've called that email, and the password field, we'll call it password, and there's also the CSRF field. So we'll stick with those, I think. Email, request, and then get, and then the key email. I'll do the same thing for password and CSRF token, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to set a key on the session for the last username. So that is done with request get session set, and then I can use the constant last username on the security class, and then for that I'm going to use the credentials email key. Now, like I said, the credentials which are returned from there get passed into the getUser method. Just to prove that, I'll dump this out and we'll go and take a look at that in the browser. So I'll submit the form, and there we go, email, password, CSRF token. What we need to do with this method is look for a user in the database which has a matching email address. If we find one, we're going to return that user. If not, we need to throw an exception. Now, I'm using PHP 8, so this gives me a chance to use one of the new features. We can now throw exceptions from an expression. So I'm going to try and assign the value to this user variable If no value is set, then I'm going to throw a new username not found exception. So as long as you're not on PHP 10 by the time you're watching this, hopefully that gets me a bit of street cred. If you want to know more about some of the new features in PHP 8, then check out my 8 things you'll love about PHP 8 recording. This user gets returned and it's what gets passed in here. So the user interface type int, if you recall when we created our user entity, it implemented the user interface. Just before I do my credentials check, I'm going to add a doc block for the getUser method, and then we'll work on the check credentials. So first off, I'm going to check the CSRF token. Now, when I auto-generated this file using the makeauth command from the console, this code that I'm putting here was actually placed in the getUser method, but I prefer to put it in the check credentials method. It just makes more sense to me, because I leave the getUser method just for only getting the user. Maybe the reason for it being in getUser is that if you check for CSRF token and it's invalid, then there's probably no point getting a user from the database, but I'm going to leave mine here. The way that I check if it's valid is I use this. If the CSRF token manager is not a valid token, then I need to throw an exception, and there's actually a custom exception for this, so we can throw a new invalid CSRF token exception. Now what we need to do is check if the password is valid for this particular user, and the way we do that is this password encoder is password valid. The first argument is the user, and the second argument is the field which you want to check, which is the password field. If you have the same config as me and you follow the trace back far enough, you'll end up here. Symfony Component Security Core Encoder Sodium Password Encoder. And this is a method which does the checking of the password. It looks at the raw password which was entered in the login form. It looks at the encoded password in the database. And then, having checked that the password isn't empty and that it meets the correct length, it then uses this method to check one against the other. Sodium crypto PW hash string verify. It's saying is encoded an encoded version of raw, and it will return a boolean, true or false, and then it will also return that true or false from check credentials. If it's false, then we don't take this any further, we have invalid credentials. If it's true, we move on to the next part of the puzzle, which is on authentication success. And like I said previously, this is where we decide what we want to do with the user once they've authenticated, because you won't want to send them back to the login page. You're probably going to want to send them somewhere else. And this might need to be customized because they might have been trying to enter a previous route and you want to send them back there, or they might have certain roles and permissions and you want to send someone with certain roles to one page. If they have another role, they might want to be sent to another page. For example, when you're logging an admin, you might want to send them to an admin page. I'm going to look at some of the more complex scenarios later, but for now I'm just going to redirect to the home page. Let's have a look at the arguments so we can see a token and a provider key. The provider key is straightforward. It's the key for our firewall, which we called main. For the token, we'll dump that out and we'll have a look at it. So we have a post authentication guard token. The way I like to think about this is like a pass. So if you go to a concert and you see people with passes hanging around their necks, it might say who they are, might say what roles they have, for example, security, hospitality or whatever, and authenticated true, you could equate that to the same as saying backstage yes. So basically, who are you? What do you do? Where are you allowed to go? In order to redirect a user to a home page, we're going to need some setup. So I've created an app controller and I'll just have one method in here which renders a home page. So I'm extending the abstract controller and then I'm just going to create an index method. And from there, I just need to render a home page. So return this render and I'll put it in an app folder within templates. And I'll just call it index.html.twig. And so if you want to access an authenticated user in a controller, this is how you do it. We don't actually need to do it because we can do it using Twig. But this getUser method returns a user interface. Let's dive into that method and see what we're talking about here. So we look into the container, into token storage. We see if we have a token and we look for a user on that token. Like I say though, we're going to be able to access the user using Twig, but it's handy for you to know this if you didn't already know it. Let's add some routing. The route will be simply /homepage, and I'm going to give it a name of app_homepage, and that will come into play when we use the URL generator in order to redirect there. As you can see, I'm also using named arguments, so name, colon, and then app homepage as a string. Let's create that Twig file also. So inside of templates, I create a file which is in the app folder, and I'm going to call it index.html.twig. I'll start by including base.html.twig. As you'll see, I've got a bit of auto-completion there because I'm using the Symfony plugin for PHP Storm. I won't tell you what software to use, but what I will say, it's really helpful for stuff like this. And we'll have a customized welcome message. So I'll say welcome, comma, and then I can access the user using app.user and then dot and then username, which in our case will fetch the email address. Now let's add that redirection that we talked about. So the way I do this is return new redirect response. Redirect response comes from Symfony component HTTP foundation. I need to pass in a URL to redirect to. The way I can do this is with URL generator. So this URL generator generate, I can pass the name for our route, which was app homepage. If you want to know more about routing and named routing, check out my routing tutorials. Let's give this a try, and there we go. Welcome, Gary@example.com. So that's worked. As you can see in the profiler, we now have a user, Gary@example.com. We're using the post authentication guard token, and it's even provided us a little link which we can click on to log that user out. Now, say that hadn't worked, then we would have needed to redirect to a login page, and the way we do that is in the get login URL. We just provide a URL again. Let's test this out. So I'll go over to login and I'll put in a fake password, redirects me back to login page, and we have this error message, invalid credentials. How about if I used a false email address? Let's give that a try. And it says username could not be found. But if we look at the exception we created, that's not the actual message that I passed in. So let's investigate this. Over to login html.twig, and as you can see, it's retrieving a message key off of the error. Let's go and look at the username not found exception. And here we have a method get message key, and there's the error message which is being displayed. Whilst we're in the get user method, here's something interesting. A lot of this code is actually redundant, because if we return null, then by default a username not found exception will be thrown. So I can simply return this. And if no user is found, null will be returned and the user not found exception will be thrown. Let's give this a try. And there you go, username could not be found. So sadly, my shiny new PHP 8 code has to go. We'll take a pause there and I'll do some tidying up of the comments. Still to come, we're going to customize redirection to target paths. We're going to add remember me's, registration, roles and permissions. I had some good suggestions after the first video, so feel free to add your own in the comments down below. If you have liked the video, then give it a thumbs up, and don't hesitate to share if you want to help other developers like yourself. That's what good developers do. One more thing. If you're not already subscribed and you want YouTube to show you more of my stuff, all you need to do is subscribe, click the little notification icon. I record new material 2 times a week, and details of my schedule can be found on the discussion tab of my YouTube channel homepage. I'll see you in part 3.